Recently, I've had a problem. The camera I'm using to record is called an Insta360 camera, and it basically has two lenses that are super wide field of view, so you can see all around you. That's actually really cool because if you look around right now, you can look around. Like I can even walk around you even too. But the interesting bit about this is that it's not just a single lens, because then everything would look flat. I'm using AI. And look, before you run away because I said AI, this actually is really interesting. I'm using a special model that basically applies depth to things. For example, I look like I'm getting closer, and I look like I'm looking rather far away. But the problem is, I couldn't really get to this normally. You see, in order to get full resolution, very clear edges and everything, you have to use a computer. But I don't want to install the sketchy software that Insta360 makes you do that. In the mobile app, yeah, that doesn't let you go very high on resolution either. So, we gotta make a new tool that basically lets us quickly and efficiently, without sketchy Chinese stuff, take these raw files, which are called insv files, and convert them into equirectangular format, which is like a flattened out version of a 360 media. How do we do that? Well, if you look over here, I made a tool for that. There's a lot of files, but half of them we aren't even using. One of these files, which are all written in Python using libraries from FFmpeg and Hugging Face, basically inst is a type of file that Insta360 cameras use, and it's basically like a fisheye lens file, basically. And you get two of these. So, using FFmpeg, you can basically unwork them, and you can combine them into a single 360 image. Hooray! And then you can just unwrap that and just do that for every single frame, and you got a video. Now that's great, but the problem is, if you look around, it's not very depthful, and that's not what we want. So I added a new file to the pipeline, which is this one right here. And now here's where the fun starts. We can actually take these depth models, and they've been trained on thousands of pictures, and you have to use a very precise one for equirectangular formats, because obviously it works on regular models, but not very well. So you gotta use a special model that is trained on 360 data, which is what I did. This one is called Depth Anything V2. It is V2 because the first one does not work very well with 360 stuff. Anyway, it processes frame by frame, giving you a complete depth map, which then I apply to distortion and put it on the bottom. So basically we have equirectangular, and we have a second equirectangular on top of it. And basically that's now a square instead of being the 2:1 aspect ratio that normal equirectangular is. And that's basically what you're looking at. If that sounds confusing, don't worry. There's a lot of people with you. But you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. For example, you can even use GoPros and stuff. GoPros have super wide field of view. It won't be 360, which means you can't look around. But it'll still be very useful for getting immersive 3D content fairly quickly. The only problem is, you need a pretty good GPU for this stuff. By using Google Colab in this other program, you can basically run it in the cloud for free using top-tier GPUs. So, that's that. If you want to try it out yourself, and you have a good computer, then try this executable file I've attached. If you're too sketched out by an exe, don't worry. It's literally just this. But if for some reason you're still sketched out, which I mean is fine, here's another script that you can run in that other weird app. Now just run it online. The only problem is that you're going to have to do it all yourself. If you want everything to run where you can see all the code, then that's fine. There you go. Also, there's a GitHub if you need that. But, thanks for watching.